And we're live. Welcome, friends. Eagles Pro is here. Eagles says hi. Greetings, Eagles. Welcome. How are you? Happy Wednesday, all. On Wednesdays, we Witcher. Miko says hello, Super Antonio and Sadie. Hello, Mods. Howdy, folks. Greetings, Miko. Glad you're here, friend. Appreciate you. Sadie currently is under the desk. And Miko says hello to Eagles. Welcome. How is everyone? How's your week going so far? How's your Wednesday? Levi the Gamer is here and says hello everyone. Greetings, Levi. Today's image poll was Tammy versus Marjorie. You know, Marjorie from Marjorie and Bertram and Magnifico. And the question was, this is a tough one. Tammy Aberdeen, inbred cannibal, has property / farm, versus Miss Marjorie, not inbred, mommy issues, and a steady job. And overwhelmingly, everyone picked Team Marjorie at 71%. Tammy got 29%. With a very revealing photo that I took of her. Yeah, I didn't know what we were doing with that. I just thought it would be funny. It kind of was. The original question was who would make a better wife? Tammy versus Miss Marjorie. But I decided to make it more open-ended. And then with Team Margaret versus the Van Horn Bath Lady, it's 41% Margaret and 59% Bath Lady. Cooper versus Lily Mae's ex is 21% Cooper to 79% Lily Mae's ex. Everyone is sympathetic towards that young man. And Team Lily versus Anastasia, 88% Anastasia, which I think is funny. Ben says, hi everyone. Greetings, Ben. How are you? Just hanging out with Geralt of Rivia on Wednesday. Because on Wednesdays we Witcher. Cleaning up a monster nest. Easy way to level up. 5 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. Tonight we shall see Triss Merigold. She's a redhead and a witch. In this game, you have the option to be a special friend to Yennefer or Triss. You can't have both. You must pick one. And in this playthrough, we picked Triss. The last playthrough on the second channel, we picked Yennefer. And Triss wins out slightly more. Just Geralt has history with both of them, but I just think Triss likes him more, or maybe I just like redheads more. Ben's, tonight we talk about Geralt. We don't talk about Arthur. Or you can talk about your workout, or what you had for dinner, or your hopes and dreams. Anything but Arthur, or your channel. Unless you're playing The Witcher 3 on your channel. Levi says, I'm playing Dying Light. Following a first-person zombie game with a buggy. I'm trying to level the buggy all the way up. Dying Light. I don't know that. I know the name of that game. I've never watched any playthroughs. I don't usually play first persons. And a first-person zombie game seems super scary. even for me. Yeah, first person, I prefer third person. It's just more cinematic for me. I think they make better videos, but I can understand first person is a very popular. I would argue more popular than third person. First person shooters, Call of Duty. CSGO. Just never got into them personally. I love this armor of Geralt's. Very fancy. It's red and gold. It has lion shoulders. Pauldrons, I believe they are called.
Hey, sod off. We're looting here.
And note the lion belt buckle.
Want you gone by the time I count to 3. 1. Hear that? 2.
Levi says at nighttime it's really scary. A zombie that can do parkour and can start a chase and chase you. Yeah. And you have to turn around a lot. You have to do a 360. Unless you have a mini map. You probably have a map.
No, don't. No more, please. Where's the sorceress who lived here? Most likely
Let's look it up.
in some rat trap with the rest of them.
Dying Light. Why is the light dying, Levi?
Who's she hiding?
Dying Light. It's on Xbox. No wonder I don't know it. Dying Light is a 2015 survival horror game developed by Techland, published by Warner Brothers Interactive. The game's story follows an undercover agent named Kyle Crane, who is sent to infiltrate a quarantine zone in a fictional Middle Eastern city called Haran. And David is here. Greetings, David. David says, howdy, y'all. Welcome, David. Appreciate you being here, friend. Couldn't do it without you. How are you? How's your Wednesday? And what's for dinner?
Where is it?
I wouldn't know. Rumor has it, it's a place for freaks and oddities.
I had leftover Panda Express. Orange chicken with chow mein and rice.
Get there.
They say you've got to get there through the city, but you've got to enter them outside of town. If you know where exactly, though.
Ask a beggar. Or spot yourself a thief and follow him. Beggars and thieves got to pay tribute to the king of beggars.
David says, what up to Eagles Pro?
Like they do in the grove. Mean to say
And
the
Miko
road
gets a
beggars
snake
are
emoticon from David.
scepter and
Miko says, hey, David.
scoff, mate.
David says hello to Benz and Levi.
Yeah, for a man who everyone in Novigrad respects deeply.
And watch yourself. Menger himself don't even go to the
David had pizza. I like pizza. I could eat some pizza right now.
This Menger.
temple god.
I won't, but I could.
Thieving vermin to the confession chamber.
What, but sir, what's the offence? This is some sorcerer's pity shop.
Think that gives you the right. to
Levi
steal their
says hello
property,
to David.
Sorcerers, mages of all types are outlaws.
but by law, the temple guard takes possession of.
Well, I'm glad you're all here. Appreciate you being here. Happy Wednesday.
Novigrad.
How's your week going so far? We're almost at the weekend, if you pay attention to such things.
Got nothing to do with their sense of smell. It's about their hearing.
Well, man knows his bats.
On Friday,
I thought you
we free roam. No, this Friday, I believe we shall
so I sent
do something full game commentary related. Mr. David.
for your kind.
Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. We shall watch
Heard Novigrad was no
the
place
end
for
credits
mages. Now you're telling me it's no place
to the
for
game,
witchers.
which is 37 minutes long.
Righteous folk professing
Why?
true faith in the
You may be
eternal
asking.
fire.
Because I feel
But just know that
I
know
feel
you're here.
those people.
Misstep,
I mean, the end credits are like longer than movie end credits, but you know it would have to be. Like it's like, and
do, it'll be standing
and I think we should acknowledge all those people who worked on the game.
oddity who dares
Levi says I had chicken with mashed potatoes and carrots. That's delicious. David says day off today, and it was a bacon, pepperoni, sausage, and jalapeno pizza. And David says, can't help it, man. I liked it. That's where I started here. Well, I appreciate you being here, David, as always. That full game commentary was a labor of love and possibly my greatest achievement on this channel. Years in the making. But yeah, I never did the end credits. So we'll do a live reaction to them, and you can just see how many people worked on this game, because I'm sure all of you people skipped it. David says, and I loved it. Well, I appreciate you, David. I really do. It was a lot of hard work. All day today, I was working on the moose video, which I know I promised months ago. Finally going to get that done. It's basically ready for publication. I just need to add end credits in the I'm Super Antonio bit, but we had to do the live stream, so I didn't. David says your voice was different back then. Different mic. As the channel progressed, the mics got more expensive and more sophisticated. David says, that made me join the channel, and I'm so glad you did. That's how I was able to afford a better mic. Also for videos, I add a little bit of reverb, a touch of reverb, like maybe 10%. It just adds a little depth, and volume isn't the right word. It just adds a little depth and tone to my voice. I like it. But it's just a touch, a hint, which we're not doing anywhere. You know, I'm just talking into the air and you're picking it up. This is very close to what I sound like. David says, good, I'm glad, well deserved. David, you're well deserved. We're in the big city. This is Velen. Lots to do here. So many side missions and people to explore. And brothels. But right now we're looking for a thief. Want to come up? Up, up. Up, up. There, Sadie. Say hi to David. Say hi to David and Miko. And say, on Wednesdays we Witcher. She's tired. David says, there she is. Yes, David. So yeah, we'll watch the end credits on Friday. It'll be fun, trust me. And we'll just talk about the game. Then on Saturday, the horse show will feature the Tiger Stripe Bay Mustang. Levi says, the first time I saw your channel was when I needed a fast horse for Arthur and I came across the Moonstone Pond glitch. That glitch made the channel. Biscuit and Moonstone Pond, like, we never really went viral, but we got a lot of attention from that glitch. Hortus says, hey folks. Greetings, Hort. David had jalapenos on his pizza tonight. What's that about? David says, Hort. Bacon, pepperoni, sausage, and jalapeno.
A veteran of the struggle against the Black once.
Where do you fight? anchoring early on. In Sidaris last, along the banks of the Pontar. So, help me out?
I would have been happy with pepperoni and sausage, or even just pepperoni.
Now you help me.
But I do like meat lovers pizzas.
It's important.
Don't know naught about no grove, putrid or other. Don't generally care much for orchardry.
This is urgent.
Leave me be, I don't know.
Help a poor fellow out.
Hort, did you vote on the latest viewer poll? It was Marjorie versus Tammy. And everyone's voting for Marjorie. Everyone's afraid of Tammy.
The thinking customer will see right away the best deals this side of
Horta says a quick and easy way to upgrade almost any meal, add jalapenos. Well, I suppose that would work. You can easily add them to sandwiches. Did you ever watch Fringe, Hort? That was I think that was like in the mid 2000s, 2010ish. It was really cool. It was like an upgraded X-Files. It was set in New York.
He sensed something.
About a
Gotta stay further back.
like a division of Homeland Security that investigates what they called fringe science. And anyways, there were these mysterious guys called the Visitors, and they dressed all in black like Reservoir Dogs, except they were bald, and they had they wore fedoras, and they always carried like briefcases and had mysterious equipment. I'll spoil it a little bit for you. They're from the future, and they're observers. But their taste buds were like all blasted out from, I guess, time travel or something. So anytime they ate, they would like, they'd just have like, they'd go to a deli and they'd order like a ham on rye or whatever, pastrami on rye. And they would like unscrew the pepper, pour that on there, then pour the Tabasco sauce. Like they'd have a jar of jalapenos and dump that on. And then they'd eat it because they couldn't taste anything. Because of time travel, perhaps. Horta says, yes, starring Anna Torv. Yeah, what a beauty. And John Noble, who, by the way, went on to voice Scarecrow in Batman Arkham Knight. I know John Noble from Lord of the Rings, of course. I'm so glad you saw that, Hort. So you remember the Visitors, and you remember their diet, I'm sure. Yeah, Anna Torv. What is Anna Torv doing these days? She's still active. She was in a movie called Force of Nature, and she's on The Last of Us. But she looks like she's basically retired. Does she have any kids? She has a kid, so she's probably taking care of her kid right now. Yeah, she returned back to Australia after COVID, and yeah, she's back in Australia. But yeah, I have Fringe on Blu-ray. I love that series. Levi says, in Dying Light, you can also play as a zombie and you can upgrade and get new abilities. Interesting. Hort says, I don't think I watched the last season. You should. It dovetails quite nicely. They do a really good job of wrapping things up. I would argue they do as good a job as, say, Breaking Bad. I mean, it's very closed. It's not open-ended at all. Everything gets tied up neatly with a bow. Horta says she was on a show on Netflix called Mindhunters or something. And she played Tess in the Last of Us show. I saw a little bit of Mindhunters, as I recall, Hort. I didn't really get into it. Oh, and you know how everyone hates Meghan Markle now? Because she married Prince Harry and took him away from the family. And but she guest starred on, like, I think season 2 of Fringe, when I assume they were thinking of replacing Anna Torv or perhaps adding this character on. And the interesting thing is she played like an FBI agent that kind of discovers the pattern all on her own. Her character and her acting style, she was fine. She wasn't annoying at all. I mean, she was adequate. I even kind of liked her, but her personality seemed so... well, I'm just not very patient with her. Hortus says, it was okay. David Fincher directed a few episodes and produced the show. I do like David Fincher.
Open up.
You know, one of his underrated movies is Panic Room. Do you know that movie, Hort? With Jodie Foster and
Sightseeing.
that girl from Twilight.
Beyond this gate.
But she was just a kid. One of her first roles. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Take a look. What do you see?
I like movies that take place in either one location
This place was a meeting
or
spot
over
for
the
all
span of one night. You know, just a very limited set time frame or location, almost like a theater play.
Don't know the password.
I just think they're very clever, like The Hateful Eight. And Quentin Tarantino has mentioned that he wants to adapt The Hateful Eight as a play, as a Broadway play, and it would work perfectly. And Hortus saw it. Jodie Foster and a young Kristen Stewart, yes, who also wasn't annoying.
Fine. Make sure you don't lose them.
No worries. Be waiting for you once you're done with the king.
Hort, were you here on Sunday when I talked about my theory after seeing The Maze Runner? Were you here for that? If not, I will talk about it. I'll talk about it anyways because I gave it a little more thought. So I saw The Maze Runner on over the weekend, and I loved it. It has a great hook. This teen young man, he looks 17, 18, wakes up in the middle of a maze. No memory of who he is, no memory of how he got there. And that's it. You know, there's like the society that has developed of all these like amnesiac males that have woken up in the middle of this maze, and some of them are trying to figure it out, map the maze, and there's Triss. There's Triss. But most of them are content just living and surviving there. You know, kind of like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan. And anyways, you know, it's dystopian. It's like one of those teen dystopian dramas. It was from 2010.
Spies tell you I was looking for
And I thought it was interesting because most of those teen dystopian dramas featured a female protagonist, you know, like The Hunger Games or Divergent. And this one was one with a male. So I thought that was interesting. Watched it all through, and I've also seen Divergent and The Hunger Games, and it just got me thinking about just all the trouble and strife and political unrest on the college campuses these days, because these kids 10 years ago were watching and consuming this kind of content, where there's no father figure, where you can't trust the authorities, you can't trust the adults. There's always a rebellion, and you side with the rebellion because, you know, the movie sides with the rebellion because they're the good guys. Even, you know, like the Star Wars movies at the time, Rogue One. You know, there's the lead you know, I'll spoil it for you. They're being observed. You know, it's a big experiment, and the lead scientist is a woman, of course. You know, and this is 2010. It's not like, you know, now. But this is the content they were consuming, and I can't help thinking that it shaped their worldview, and it's one of the reasons why everyone is so upset on college campuses, and they will side with any underdog,
mostly adults.
because they want to be on the side of the rebellion, whatever, you know, like, and, you know, teenagers always do that. There's a famous line from Marlon Brando's The Wild One, which is from the 50s, where somebody, you know, an adult asks him, what are you rebelling against? And Marlon Brando famously says, "What do you got?" And so there's a little bit of that. You know, teens like to rebel. Young adults like to rebel. But I think it was exacerbated by movies like this. And, you know, it's like in this worldview. I mean, the world outside of the maze is you know, dystopian, you know, post-apocalyptic and bleak. And that attitude and worldview has, I hesitate to say infected, let's say influenced how
I'll be glad to take along.
kids on college campuses see the world today. Hort says, I am Team Triss. Hashtag Team Triss. Yes, same here, Hort. I do like redheads. And Hortus says, I never was interested in any of those young adult novel adaptations.
Somebody said Triss Merigold would be working for a Novigrad criminal. I'd never.
I saw the Hunger Games because the girl I was dating at the time liked that type of content. And, you know, I mean, you know, it's entertaining, but I didn't really think of it in a broader political or socio-political sense until now. And I haven't really coalesced all the thoughts together, not enough to make a video or even have like a vaguely intelligent conversation about it. I just think that that it has something to do. It, you know, it's just like one of the reasons why the state of the world we're in now is from movies like that. Also, I like Triss's hood shoulder thingy. It's very medieval. I mean, it has a word. It's called something. Miko says, I saw those college protests online. What a mess of things. Yeah, it's crazy, Miko.
I'm looking for someone.
They're not doing that
Young woman.
in your country.
Like a daughter to me.
You're lucky.
Here? No, impossible.
She was here. There are witnesses, evidence. Was hoping you'd heard something. You've been here a while. I need you to help me find something, anything, a trace.
I'll do it.
Also, this is the first generation that grew up completely
You might know more.
on the internet with social media. And that had an effect too.
Well. Well.
They can't remember a life without the internet. They can't remember a life with dial-up.
I want more and more till you ain't got but your soiled breeches.
Miko says, not yet, Super Antonio, not yet. Hopefully, it won't happen. I mean, you live in a Catholic country. The church
Hello,
is
Krug.
very
Managed to get
strong
those magic
and
essence ingredients?
it imposes a social order that is,
You might say. I was walking along the
I
canal
believe,
with a sack of
personally, I
rubbish.
believe necessary for,
Looked up,
you know, just
spied a
to
trio of
get
tall
along, for
guards
civilization.
Get to the point, Klug. No time today for one of your long stories.
Wait. A sack full of magicalities, and they were coming straight towards me. I don't easily frighten, but
9 viewers in chat, welcome.
sweat on my arse I did. I'm
We're
afraid
kind
I
of talking about The Witcher,
dropped the sack
but
in
we're
the
mostly talking about dystopian
when I was
movies, teen dystopian movies of the 2010s, because I saw The Maze Runner,
I need that package, Klug. I've got a contract.
and I really liked it. I surprisingly liked it. I usually don't like teen dramas. I don't really care about teenagers.
if you search.
You expect me to
Um,
pay you, then dive
but it was
my
pretty
hands
good.
into that ice-cold filth?
I recommend it.
I can do that. Where'd you toss the package?
Near the crane.
Oh, and there's monsters in the maze, giant spider robot things that, like, you know. But I would have preferred if they had some kind of minotaur type, like, or even a bull. That would have been cool, like a giant mechanical bull that chases them through the maze. Giant robot bull. But they used spiders. But I would have preferred something a little more classical. Oh, and speaking of classical, it was really funny. I read this online. Icarus, if he actually flew through too close to the sun, his wings would have iced up. They would not have melted. The wax would not have melted. He still would have fallen, but it would have been like Iron Man 1. Yeah, It's like when you hit like that level of the atmosphere, the stratosphere, you know, you freeze up. So that would have been funny. The Greeks didn't know, though. How could they? No one had been to max height yet.
There's a draft. Should be an exit.
Well, let's follow Triss, see what she wants. We will have
Must be a lever on this.
bath lady times with Triss. Not in this video, but it's coming. And again, I will have to edit quite artistically. I'll show you as much as I can. But again, it's like, you know, it's nothing. It's like GTA 5. It's, you know, it's nothing. I would say R-rated, of course, but you see more on Netflix if you're looking for it. If you want that, if you want to see that kind of stuff. And Papa One is here. Papa One says, "Hey everyone, greetings, Papa One." Everyone say hello to Papa One. Happy Wednesday, Papa One. On Wednesdays we Witcher, and Mama One is here. Mama One, everyone say hi to Mama One. Greetings, Mama One. What was for dinner? Everyone else had jalapeno-related content that was disappointing to me. David says, "There he is, and there she is." Sadie's under the desk. Mama One. We'll call her back for you. So you can say hi to Mama One. Hup, hup. Good girl. There. Say hi to Mama One and Papa One. Can you hear that crunch? Miko says, hello, Mama One and Papa One. Hort says, hey, y'all. Mama One says, David, hope you are well. And Mama One says, hey, Miko. And Papa One says, hi, David. Hi, Miko. Speaking of well, I hope Serena's doing well. I knew she was going to see the doctor. I hope she's better. I know she uploaded a video today. Dropped her a like. David says, how are you, my friend? That's to you, Papa One, I would assume.
Free city of
12 viewers in the chat. Appreciate you being here, friends.
The very reason so many mages
Look,
came
don't
here
yawn on the
was
stream.
last
That'll
time
make everyone else yawn.
thought they'd be safe from Radovid's reapers. Instead, they jumped out of the frying pan into the fire. But now the rat stands on top of the
David
mountain.
says she could get her package, should get her package tomorrow. Oh, that's good news, David. She'll be happy. I told her to make an unboxing video.
That's why they're exterminating
Mama One
mages.
says, Papa One cooked a ham with rice and gravy and lima beans and also corn on the cob. That sounds
Judging
so
by what
wholesome
Triss said,
and
the parcel should be around
delicious.
here on the border. Unless the poor man was mistaken. He's been forgetful ever since Manga interrogated him. Seems to be suffering from a persecution complex, too.
You know, there's a Hawaiian dish that's called Moco Loco, which is rice, a hamburger patty, gravy, and then a fried egg on top, and it's delicious. But that's about the only time that I have gravy is on the Moco Loco. It's like a Hawaiian comfort food. Papa One says, I'm doing well, David. I am better from surgery, trying to do more work around the farm. I try to cook and help as much as the wife allows. I try to do the chores, no matter my limitations. Yeah, that's because you value hard work, Papa One. As you should. As we all should. We'll leave that bottle. That is what we were looking for. David says, that's because you're a man's man. Yeah, well, you know, you can't be afraid of hard work. I mean, it's a good value.
for no reason.
Nothing like a refreshing swim in a filthy canal. Found a few fish, a rusty anchor.
Does Triss actually think no one will recognize her if her hood's up?
Hope the contents aren't so
Even though she's wearing
I'll wear
purple
it all.
yoga pants and she has very distinctive red hair and high-heeled boots.
Seem to be in your element.
They're not necessarily yoga pants, they are
Do I use them?
riding breeches.
6 months isn't that long.
Papa One says that and Mama One can be scarier than Miss Grimshaw. But thanks, David.
Completely.
Hort says, I'm not lazy, I just don't like working. There's a difference. Yes, I understand, Uncle, all too well.
For one,
And Cloudy says, howdy, y'all. Greetings, Cloudy. How are you, friend? Happy Wednesday. What'd you have for dinner, Cloudy? Did it involve jalapenos?
greetings.
Are you on Team Jalapeno
Expect you to bring company.
or Team Potato? David says, haha, Uncle Hort. And David says, Cloudy?
She was looking for work.
One of my favorite
Facet.
Are you, Triss?
Uncle lines is how he tells Arthur, by this time, I thought I'd be married to an heiress.
No one would hire me if I couldn't be a common rat cat.
More importantly, no one would
And all I can think, Uncle, is, yeah,
exterminator of rodents. But I'd prefer
same
we
here, friend.
hurry and begin.
Same here.
You and Brandon here. You've agreed a price.
We settled on a full coin purse.
Brandon and Co. is a serious outfit. We've the largest granary in all Novigrad.
You're a merchant. familiar
Cloudy
with
says, I'm doing good. I had some chicken soup today.
Honest pay for honest work.
half up front, half once the
Chicken
job's
soup's good.
done.
I don't really like soup.
I'm a witcher.
I mean,
Admit I've met my share of people who say one thing
I'll have it.
before
I had some miso soup
fact.
over the weekend,
Well, you're first in
but it's not like something that I
We need to place these crystals around
crave or aspire to. It's just if it's there, I'll have it and say thank you. But Papa says Mama One has that same distinct walk like Grimshaw does when you don't donate to the box. I think it's a quality all women who work hard have. I would tend to agree with you, Papa One. Very well observed.
What evidence of manticore activity looks like, but rodents.
David says, I like when he tells Miss Grimshaw he would make a dishonest woman of her. Yeah, he flirts with her. When he asks her out and then asks for money to take her out.
Once we place this instance, what then?
We gotta clear all these rats out of the granary.
Can't do that without sprinkling incense. Don't really feel up to looking for rat shit.
Stop whining.
Looks like a good spot. I don't like that guy.
Brandon? I don't either. He's much too fat.
Can't help but agree. But no. Notice how he didn't try to hack him.
Must really want the rats out.
Triss, he's a merchant. He makes his living by hacking.
If I worried about that sort of thing, I'd starve to death in this city.
Hort for Free Roam Fridays. Hort, Mama One, and Papa One. For Free Roam Fridays, we will be live reacting to the end credits of the game, which is about 39 minutes long, but we'll stretch it out into an hour, or maybe 90 minutes or so. Maybe we'll watch American Venom too. How long is American Venom? Yeah, we'll do like American Venom and the end credits. That will be Free Roam Fridays. On Fridays we go back to the full game commentary for David.
Get ready for some magic.
Hort says, for me, soup is kept in the cupboard as a last resort kind of meal. Yeah, I understand that, Hort.
Well,
David says 10 years younger and 1,000
now we wait
richer.
for him to scurry away.
Interesting method. Never had
And
much
Mama
luck
One
with
says,
that.
LOL, I have to keep his thick head in line. Yes, that is the lot of all wives,
Senses.
I think, Mama One. But you know what they say,
Was no one else saw it.
happy wife means a happy life.
So, what do you
Hort says not much free roaming happens in that sequence. Yeah, the conversation will be free roam, and I just feel, Hort, that we need to acknowledge all the hard work that went into that game, and I don't think anyone else has like streamed the full game credits and talked about it and acknowledged and said thank you to all those people. And there are so many people you can't imagine. It's like
I'm not going back to it.
I would say easily
It's one thing to say something, it's another
10 times longer than like
Promise to remain
Marvel
friends.
movie credits.
I hope nothing will change that. So,
Grim Reaper 1510.
How do you know I found
Greetings, friend. Says thanks for your Red Dead Redemption 2 tutorials. They helped me a lot to get some weapons I ain't supposed to have. Appreciate you being here, friend. And that's what they're for.
asking about it?
Working on a moose video currently.
I got my answer.
Mama One says, Hort, technically you're allowed to free roam in the mission area. And David says, what up, 510? Sadie's at the balcony. The door is closed. We have a big sliding glass door, and she's just kind of looking up at the sky and the trees.
Well, well. Are lovebirds having themselves a bit
Hort says, how many of those people are still at Rockstar now? Good question, Hort. Many of the most senior staff are all gone. Yeah, I mean, they either got laid off or cut or fired, especially after COVID. That's one of the reasons why I do not have a good feeling about GTA 6. Led Zeppelin says, hey guys, greetings, Led Zeppelin. Appreciate you being here, friend. Happy Wednesday. And David says, Zepp.
That's part in peace.
You don't set the terms.
Papa One says, ain't seen so many damn rats since Vietnam. Well, we got rid of him, Papa One.
We're inseparable, see? Afraid you'll have to take us.
And now I believe these jokers won't pay us.
You say so.
All right.
This is what Triss is reduced to, is being a rat catcher. She used to be like the premier sorceress in Velen.
As have I. Neither is to leave here alive.
But they're burning witches these days. Okay, we gotta deal with these jokers. You would think that blasting them on fire would have more of an effect on him, but it doesn't really.
If not for you,
Grab the crowns, leave the sword. Yeah, if I look over at her, she'll like look back at me. She's waiting for me to call her back with a treat. Led Zeppelin says, hey, Super Antonio, for the horse show, I did go with another horse. Could you still include my Arabian? And the next horse show, I'll include my new horse. You can have both of them in the horse show, Hort or Led. But we're not going to do a horse show until at 20K at the earliest. And we're at like 17.6 right now.
Don't kill me. Good sir, no. They forced me. Had I not told them, they'd have set fire to my home, my warehouse. The mage hunters...
Love that armor. I miss it. Hortus says, video games is a pretty gun-for-hire industry. It's honestly for people, rare for people to stay at a company for a long time. They just bounce around pretty regularly.
So you'll live and pay us double.
That makes sense, Hort. You go where the work is. Mama One says he hates rats. He had one giant rat crawl and sleep on him during Vietnam. He hates rats and tarantulas. He always said that they had a tarantula the size of a man's fist. That's a big tarantula.
No need.
And Led Zeppelin says, okay, I'll be sure to snap some new pics and get them to you.
And I just got an idea. There's an
You know, my
American
favorite
asset.
jungle war movie
Very capable,
is
supposedly.
Predator
Never trusted in dreamers
with
of
Arnold
movies myself.
Kareen's been
from 1986, I believe,
She's taking a
86,
job
87,
close by.
around there.
Follow the canal away from the fish market. The house is near the
I
first
should have it on
bridge.
Blu-ray, but I
It's
do
owned
not.
after John Keir is a rich banker.
Not coming with me.
I've got some things to
Mama
tell
One says one reason we still have farm dogs now instead of horses and livestock, they herd rats.
you. Nothing even remotely satisfying. Such are the times.
Yeah, I hate rats.
It was nice to see you again.
I had
You
a
two
lady
go.
friend
You should go
who had 2 pet
before
rats
Kareen goes back
that
into
she would
hiding
let
somewhere.
crawl up on her shoulder and play around her. And she swore they were very intelligent
Stop
And,
It'd be nice.
you know, she kept him in a cage by her bed. It was very awkward being in her bedroom. And it was very awkward just reconciling my attraction to her with the fact that she loved these rats. She was a vet assistant, a veterinarian assistant, but for a biotech company. So she was in charge of the animals they experimented on, that they were like injecting with a T virus and stuff. That's a Resident Evil reference for you. And these were 2 rats that she had like saved and raised from rathood, I guess.
Just passing by, wanderer? Or do you seek something?
Led Zeppelin says, I like Platoon, but I haven't seen it in a while. There's a very young Johnny Depp in Platoon.
Of those to Yonkers, yes.
He wasn't a star. Like he was like fresh out of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Didn't need a recommendation. Name would have been enough.
Father always said, all ought to know your merits, son. Don't hide them under a bushel.
I'm looking for Corrine Tilly.
Well, you've come to the right place then. Corrine is inside. Been there for a few days, dreaming the home's history.
Papa One says, my dad loved Predator. He always watched it when it came on TV. This was before DVDs. I still watch that and The Outlaw Josie Wales and think fondly of him. I started watching war movies with my son.
Corrine requested she not be disturbed.
You know, there's an old black and white one called The Longest Day, which is about D-Day with, you know, an all-star cast, but it has John Wayne in it and a bunch of others. And I used to watch that with my dad on Memorial Day, and I still like that. That's one I have on DVD. But I haven't watched it yet since my father passed away. I'll do it. I'll watch it one of these. It's very. I'm very sentimental about movies, of course. And Papa One says, and now I can watch Platoon, Firebase Gloria, Casualties of War bothers me, but I also love the old TV show Tour of Duty about a squad of soldiers during Vietnam. And David says, seen The Outlaw Josie Wales with Dog Day Afternoon at the drive-in. Dustin Hoffman. Dog Day Afternoon. No, not Dustin Hoffman. Al Pacino. How could I make that mistake? Led Zeppelin says, Papa One, I thank you for your service in Vietnam, sir. Yes. Shout out to Papa One. And the boys he left behind. That's one of the reasons why he lived such a good and full life. He has to live it for all of his comrades. Papa One says, thank you, Led Zeppelin. I'm one of the fortunate ones, and I praise God every day for letting me survive. We do too, Papa One. We're glad you're here. And Mama One. We add a lot to the chat and the community. One of the most fun things about this game is all the stuff you can grab, all the looted items. They're all like necessary for crafting. I mean, it clutters up your inventory, and in theory, you can just like buy the ingredients, but it's fun to collect them. It's fun to have free stuff. Let's move on. Papa once says, my dad was in World War II from 1942 to 46. I was born in 49, but my dad never talked much about it until I got out of the coma. My sister didn't know where he served until she found some old pictures. He served in the Pacific, as I recall, Papa One. I think I recall you saying that, but I could be mistaken. Oh, no, in Europe. Papa One, I'm thinking of someone else. Forgive me. It says of him in North Africa, France, and Belgium.
All right. Time to check the attic.
Yeah, The Greatest Generation. My favorite World War II drama is probably Band of Brothers. Very immersive. And authentic. I suppose as authentic as it can be. Led Zeppelin says, my great-grandfather and great-uncle both served in World War I.
Put it down, please. That's blood. Don't spill it. Please.
Yeah, my extended family,
Way to the next room's blocked.
including my grandfather. My grandfather served in World War I or World War II, but my extended family is very military, mostly Army and Air Force. I don't know if I've talked about that, and we've served in every conflict since the Spanish-American War. On both sides, and then if you count in-laws, we can go back to the Civil War. But no one is currently serving that I can think of right now. Papa once says, my grandpa was a World War I vet. He was wounded in a poison gas attack, but still lived to be in his 70s. Despite the lung damage, he smoked 2 packs a day throughout his life. He got surgery in the 70s. Yeah, but back then, Papa One, they probably thought the cigarettes helped. I remember Sinatra, would smoke because he said it was good for his throat. It was good for his singing voice. Oh, and Papa One says then he nicked an artery and he died on the table. Well, he made it to his 70s. And surgery was a lot riskier then.
Strange stuff. And doll. Drawing shows it lying in a cradle. Maybe I should find one.
Led Zeppelin says, unfortunately, my great-uncle got shell-shocked and actually ditched and disappeared, and he never found out where he went or what happened. That's a mystery, Led Zeppelin. I hope he recovered and lived a good life. Perhaps he lost his memory and he met a French farm lady who called him Pierre, and he had to learn French, and you have French relatives that you don't even know, French cousins to this day. That's what I like to think. That's what I hope happened. Papa once says, my granddad was a crazy guy. He was an alcoholic severely, but when he came home from the war, he was drinking with a friend, and they started fighting, and then they got in a gunfight with the cops. Papa one's granddad was living the GTA 5 life, but back then it was just GT. Anything glows red has to do with the story. We had to put that rag doll in the crib, to release the curse.
Another
And then this girl can
masterpiece.
wake up.
An oven and a blackened grate. Oh, joy.
Kind of like Sleeping Beauty.
Solid
There's a
in
lot
the
of
cellar.
fairy tale
Maybe I'll find
mythology,
another clue there.
grim fairy tale in this game. Led Zeppelin says, I'm forever grateful for our vets, past, present, and future. Yeah, freedom isn't free.
Boo! Did I scare you? Scared you, didn't I? Can tell you were scared. Big brave man scared of wee little Sarah. Ain't that funny?
I wouldn't do that anymore if I were you, Sarah. You
Papa
might
One
scare
says, a
someone so
great
bad
book or
they'll
movie
hurt
of
you.
World War I is Johnny Got His Gun. It's about an 18-year-old kid who volunteers and is wounded severely, losing arms, legs, eyes, nose, ears, and is left a prisoner in his own body.
I can do that, you know.
And Cloudy says, I regret not joining the military when I was 18.
I gotta talk to the dreamer.
And Papa One says he's fully alive but cannot communicate.
Sarah doesn't want it to wake
Well, Cloudy, you know, you do what you're meant to do, and you end up where you're supposed to be.
You're lucky.
But
I know you're a harmless godling, but others might not
it
know.
would have set you on a different path.
you know I'm a
But I think
godling
you would,
man.
you know, it's like I was talking earlier about the value of hard work,
If it
and
looks
you
like
learned that
one
in the
looks like
military.
one, trust me.
It gives you a structure
You
and
gave the
a
dreamer nightmares
and a
won't let her
routine
wake up.
that
Why are you
for
tormenting
some
her?
people is very difficult to
Scary dreams are
establish on your own. And you
like
do,
things
I
big
think,
chases me.
as a young man, need structure and routine and discipline in order
Tell you
to
a secret.
succeed, in order to craft a life that you will be proud of.
I just pretend it is. Make everyone think that. It was sitting there all empty.
And the military can help with that. Horta says, speaking of fairy tales, Fable finally got a release here this week. Interesting, Hort. And Led Zeppelin says, yeah, I heard that from the song One by Metallica. And Papa One says, don't regret it, Cloudy. Be proud you didn't have to. Too many good young boys have been killed. That's true.
I won't.
That's only if you survive.
Sarah, Novigrad's no place for a godling. But if you want to live here, that's your business. So let's make it.
But there's a lot to be said for discipline and structure
Leave the
when you're a
dreamer
young man.
in exchange.
But that's the same like, you know, organized sports, being on a team.
way to lift the curse.
That'll teach you that.
What if he doesn't believe you?
Martial arts,
He'll believe
practicing martial arts, or, you know, boxing.
Do that, and I promise not to bother your friend.
Being part of
Not even a
something
little. You're awfully nice, you know.
bigger than you, greater than you.
Thanks.
Now
Very
go make
important,
that
especially when you're young,
I won't
because
stop her. She'll get
young people, young men especially, are very egotistical, and they need to get that beaten out of them with push-ups and runs and laps and more push-ups. Papa One says, my life is a lot better now, Cloudy, but all the years I suffered, it took a lot to get me to where I am now. A grown man has to be retaught. It's like I was a newborn twice. I only kept alive because of Mama One and my dad. Now I live for Mama One and my son, and all of you in this group.
Triss Merigold sent me to see you.
We're here for you, Papa One. And Cloudy says, I'm glad you're doing good in life now.
To dream the history of this house.
And forget this girl's name.
Hungry furniture that wished to devour me.
And I hope she doesn't get us demonetized. They're showing a lot of cartoon skin here. Even though
And not at all amusing.
if this were like a regular stream with a regular girl showing that much skin, YouTube would be fine with it.
Dreams with her little jokes.
But in illustration, we'll see what happens. It didn't even occur to me that she might get demonetized.
Very much. The dreams they were
But
off.
that's okay. She's worth it.
Essentially, I'm looking for a young woman that was seen in Novigrad.
I can certainly try to help. But I'll need to clear my head first. After those deranged.
Grat
dreams,
Sadie's
I
not
was
here. She doesn't need to
convinced.
see her.
Find me at the Golden Sturgeon. I rent a room there.
All right. See you there.
Novigrad Dreaming.
I saw Miss Corinne leave.
So much
but
for
she
the haunted
refused to
house.
speak to me. Is the matter resolved? Or quite the opposite?
A bit of both. A demon had captured Corrine. I managed to free her, but the house is
Papa
still
One
haunted.
says, this is the only place in all my years I feel I can be open and not hold anything. That has actually helped my PTSD more than anything. You can only hold it in for so long. Yeah, I imagine so, Papa One. Well, we're here for you. This chat and this community is happy to be there for you. As much as we can.
Don't bother me, please. The second sword, is it in case the first one breaks?
Cloudy says, I uploaded an LA Noire video a few years ago and YouTube took them off. I was like, it's a video game, LOL. Yeah, that might have had to do with Rockstar. For some reason, the cutscenes in LA Noire, you can't record them off PS4. You can only record them off a like a screen capture card. And so you might have they might have copyright struck you for that. But and Led Zeppelin says, Amen, Papa One. But I don't know. Who knows what YouTube likes? Who knows what the algorithm is doing? But that, my friends, is about all I have for you tonight. I really appreciate all of you being here. Shout out to the mods, Papa One, Mama One, David. Thank you for being here. We shall return on Fridays. Hope you all have a good rest of the week. Led Zeppelin, Hort, Cloudy.